Hurricane Dorian has brought unprecedented destruction and devastation to the Bahamas. It is the strongest hurricane that has ever made landfall in the Bahamas, categorized as a Category 5 hurricane. It absolutely annihilated the land, flooding the houses and edifices of the small island and the Grand Island with torrents of rain and deluge of water. There was so much water and so much rain that houses were decimated and washed away from their foundations. The people fled in fear. Now many people need donations to recover from the devastation that has completely destroyed their lives. Survivors of Hurricane Dorian need your help to rebuild the island paradise of the Bahamas. This was once a sought-after region where people went to take their summer vacations. It was a place where families came together to celebrate happiness and joy. Togetherness and families is what Bahamas used to represent. Now we see the destruction of families and their homes, struggling to stay afloat. At first, I overanalyzed the storm Dorian because I think that the technology for determining the wind speed needs to be re-examined. The scale that they used to determine the wind speed is antiquated and archaic. It was invented in a time before we had the technology to accurately measure wind speed. Now that we can measure wind speed using a computer, yes, I do believe that there is some exaggeration going on with the hurricane, and that it has prompted people to go to gas stations and fuel up and buy food in a panic-stricken panic. The hysteria and the pandemonium that ensues when a hurricane approaches is unprecedented and unfathomable unless you have actually experienced the devastation and the annihilation that a hurricane can bring to shore. We will watch moment by moment as people gather their goods and prepare to brace themselves in the wake of another destructive storm. A cataclysmic event could possibly take place as we examine the onslaught of this devastating tempest approaching America's eastern coast like a locomotive out of control. Now we'll watch as people hurriedly gather all of their belongings and rush inland. Hopefully the storm will turn into a tropical storm and it's set to head out into the Atlantic, but there are other storms besides Dorian that will approach the United States soon. However, we can expect a lot of flooding and a lot of storm surge to inundate the coastline of the east coast of the United States, including the east coast of Georgia, North and South Carolina, and even going as far as Virginia. The storm will continue its relentless pursuit of coming inland as we brace ourselves. As the storm approaches, many procrastinate and put aside gathering reinforcements or evacuating. However, the storm has a very precarious nature about it and will forge toward destruction and devastation. It will pillage and plunder the land as we watch, hopeless and without any power, impotent to do anything against such a monstrous and cataclysmic storm that Dorian has become. Now we will have to ponder the possibilities. The devastation and the aftermath awaits us as the storm Dorian looms like a ever evil and ever dangerous, precarious, like a harbinger of death and destruction. We're hoping that the storm does not come ashore, but we do want to help rebuild any devastated area in the Bahamas or any place else, so now it can become a paradise where people go to enjoy happiness instead of a battle zone of storm devastation where people run away.
Hurricane Dorian has brought more unprecedented destruction to the tiny island paradise. It's unfathomable how the survivors have managed to toil through the trials and tribulations that they have been inundated with in the past couple of days. More disaster relief will be sent there as soon as possible. I think that Dorian caused a lot of people to go to the gas station and buy a lot of gas and food here in the United States in a panic-stricken hysteria. They fear that the worst. And after seeing the news reports of the wind gusts, I think that they are categorizing the storm as a very high category 5 in order to snatch headlines and to get attention for the Weather Channel and other stations that promote weather monitoring. It's also to draw people to the television.
I think that the measurement scale, the scientific measurement for hurricanes has to be refurbished and redone. I think they need to make a new scale to determine what a real actual category 5 is, because it's based on the destructive capability of the storm. Does the storm have the ability to destroy a structure? Now, it depends on if the structure is built with poured concrete and concrete blocks and has a reinforced steel exoskeleton or skeleton infrastructure. If it does, then it's not as likely to be destroyed by a hurricane. So therefore, if all of the building standards become elevated to where they are, at least to what they are in the state of Florida, then would the hurricane have had as a destructive force as it did in the Bahamas if their building standards had been to poured concrete and concrete block? Now, Andrew taught us a very valuable lesson in the United States. Previous to Andrew, homes were constructed somewhat haphazardly in comparison. They were not mandated to be made out of concrete block or brick or poured concrete, and they were not mandated to have a concrete foundation. After the aftermath of Hurricane Andrew, Florida made a construction law that all houses had to at least be made out of concrete blocks. This vastly reduced the possibility of a hurricane causing the house to be dismantled. Now, another law that they also have, or another reinforcement that they also have, is to build the houses with reinforced steel roofs, so that they're called hurricane-proof roofs. Now, these roofs were not mandatory or perfunctory during the time of the Hurricane Andrew laws when they were ratified into law in Florida, but they should be, because it would help increase property value and fortify the house against being destroyed by a hurricane in the event of the landfall of a major hurricane. So if the building standards increase, will the destructive capability scale then should be more updated? I think that it's based on antiquated scientific measurements that they could not accurately measure the speed of the hurricane and really tell us how fast it's going or really tell what category it is. They're just trying to estimate the worst possible outcome of the storm. What's the worst possible thing that could happen to prevent that from happening? In the weakest, most dilapidated wooden structure house, will this storm rip the roof off and cave in the walls? That we have seen this type of devastating destruction in the Bahamas. Hopefully this will be avoided and it will not make landfall in the United States.
Hurricane, hurricane, the world will never be the same. Help the fallen stand again. When the hurricane came and brought the rain and destruction, I thought that I would never see the light of day again. And then somebody reached down and gave a helping hand to help someone in a foreign land. Hurricane, hurricane, all the suffering is not in vain. Remember the day you came. The hurricane came, so many were slain. The hurricane came and stopped the plans. The hurricane came and many deaths were blamed. The hurricane came, the hurricane came, the hurricane came, the hurricane came. Hurricane, hurricane, the world will never be the same. Help the fallen stand again. Hurricane, faster with gains. Hurricane, never forget your name. The storm